we're in Ideal Cooking in Carla's Kitchen. We're preparing an angel food cake and a custard that's going to make a trifle tomorrow. The thing I like about this, like a lot of things, I can make it the night before. I have to do a dessert tomorrow. I don't have time. So I'm going to do the angel food cake and the custard tonight. And I'm making them sugar-free with the Somersweet baking blend. So I'm going to show you how to do that. First thing we're going to do is get going the egg whites. And for those of you that don't know how to separate an egg, you just simply take the egg like this, put the yolk back and forth in the shell, and then put the egg white in one bowl and the egg yolks in the other. Okay, so we're going to use my mixer, which is a little loud, so I'm not going to be able to do a lot of things while this is mixing. I'll explain a couple of things, but we need to beat these egg whites with some cream of tartar, some vanilla, and some salt. So the recipe will tell you how much of each. That going, that's going to take, you want it to form soft peaks, which I'll show you what that looks like. In the meantime, if I'm talking loud enough, I'm going to sift together the pastry flour. I just got some cake flour, and it's one cup of cake flour and 3/4 of the Somersweet baking blend. And I'm going to sift it together like this. Now I'll put this down and we're going to sift it again. That as best you can. And put it back in there. And that we'll use later to actually sift into the egg whites once they're ready. Okay, just check my egg whites here. They're frothing up, which is a good sign, but we're going to want soft peaks, so I'm going to show you what that looks like when we get there. To prepare the pan, we take a little bit of pan spray and spray around the side of it. Then we're just going to take a little bit of flour. We don't want much. You can see that. We're trying to get the flour stuck to the side. Not to the bottom necessarily, just to the side. Okay, that's like that. And what I've done is I've cut out a piece of parchment paper the size of the bottom. I just use this as my guide. And I cut out the bottom. And that prepares the pan. So what it has is the sides are floured and the bottom has a piece of parchment. This is very important because we're making an angel food cake in a cake pan, which is not the typical thing to do. There's a reason you cook an angel food cake with the tube up in the middle, so this would stick if we didn't do the prep on the pan properly. Let me check our almost there. Another 3/4 cup of the Somersweet blend. And so I'm going to add this to the egg white about 2 tablespoons at a time and keep them whipping at the soft heat. set the oven for 375 degrees. And so as soon as this is done, we'll put it in the pan and we'll cook it in the oven. While I'm doing that, I'm going to make my custard. So you'll see how I make the custard. Then that'll go in the fridge. The cake will come out and cool. And then tomorrow I'll show you how I put them together. Trifle is just 3 layers of whatever you want. I'm going to be making a trifle with angel food cake, custard, and strawberries. A couple of layers of that, and then I'm going to top it with a little bit of whipped cream. And it's a very fun, delicious dessert to take to function. I want to check and see if these are soft peaks. Yes, they are. So I'll show this. A soft peak is going to, when you pull it up, see, it's going to leave just a little of the peak that you just did. A stiff peak would keep that up. This one's soft, and that's all you want. It's just, it's going to stay up. Now I'm going to put this back on, and then I'm going to add the sugar, like I said, just a couple of teaspoons at a time. Keep that going. This is our Somersweet. This is our Somersweet baking blend sugar. So it's 3/4 of a cup. And I'm just going to add a couple tablespoons at a time. Make sure it's well blended. Add a couple tablespoons at a time. So that if you do it this way, you'll continue to have a soft peak. This is very important because the next step, we need all this air in this angel food cake. If you didn't add these properly, then you wouldn't maintain the air and the thickness of the cake. You want it to have stiff peaks, so I'll show you the difference in those. We got this much stiffer, so when you pull that up, you see it stays. I hope you can see that. See, it stays. That you can see. So the soft peak kind of starts to fall over, the stiff peak, it stays. So this is a really important step, because what we're going to do now is we're going to add our sifted mixture and fold that in about a 1/4 cup at a time. So I'm going to take this, take about a 1/4 of it, sift it in there, and the best way I found to fold is go in the middle, out the side, and fold over. Middle, around the side, fold over. You're trying to maintain the airiness while adding just a little bit of this flour. And this can get tricky. This is a part where sometimes we lose our fluffiness of the cake. So this is really important that you take the time to fold this. So then we'll add a little bit more. Like that. Fold the mixture in. see it's maintaining its size, not losing any height as I fold in the flour mixture. Okay, so we'll do it again, one more time. As you can see, fold the mixture over, hold the integrity of the cake, and then the last bit. Finish up, get it all out of there. Okay, now I'll bring that over so it's a little easier to see what this is going to look like. I'll try to put that in the screen. It's hard for me to know exactly where the lens is, but I think it's like right there, so you can see it's a really fluffy cake batter. It's important that it stays that way. It's not a typical cake batter where it's going to be smooth. It's going to be very airy. You're going to have some spots that doesn't maybe look like it's all mixed up, but it will be. Folding it over again and again. You want it somewhat smooth, but it's still going to look a little bit like this. I'm going to try to get some of the bottom up here. It has a little more egg yolk that doesn't have some of the flour mixture into it, so that it gets smooth all the way. And that's pretty much it. That's how it looks. Okay, we're going to put that in our cake pan we've prepared. And it's going to be really light and fluffy. That's the way we want it to stay. Trying not to beat it down or get it. Trying to keep it this way, okay. So we're going to barely smooth it around. Like that. As you can see, it's up over the top of the pan. And when it comes out of the oven, I'll show you how beautiful it looks. And then we'll cool it, and like I said, have it for tomorrow's dessert we're going to make. I also use this just to make an angel food cake with whipping cream on it and some berries. You can pick your favorite kind of berries. I also use it for a almond raspberry tart I like to make. So when you see that recipe, that's using this same cake. We'll put it in the oven, 375, just like that. Set the timer for 20 minutes to start off with, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, that's it. Okay, I'm going to show you what the angel food cake looks like when it's done, coming out of the oven when we don't. Now, if you had it in an angel food pan, obviously, then it would be a little bit different, but the concept will be the same. We're going to turn it upside down right away. So I'm going to set the camera down for a second while I take this and flip it upside down. And then it'll cool like that. I'll just pull that pan off in a minute, and then it's going to cool, and then I'm going to store it for tomorrow when I'm going to